It is quite obvious that many citizens of China and Pakistan believe that their respective air forces are the strongest in the world. On the other hand, a global air powers ranking, which does a very careful study to examine the real strength of air forces of various nations, has found that the USA, Russia and India are exceptionally strong. Of course, the Indian Air Force has beaten the Chinese Air Force in the 2022 Global Air Powers Ranking. But how about Pakistan's performance? And why do so many Chinese netizens seem so angry and jealous? To know more, please continue watching. So, the WDMMA examined the total fighting strength of the various air services of the world and then ranked them accordingly. In its latest Global Air Powers ranking, the Indian Air Force is ranked higher than the People's Liberation Army Air Force and is also positioned above the Israeli Air Force, the French Air Force and the Japan Air Self-Defense Force. According to the WDMMA, its annual ranking utilizes a formula which takes into account values related to total fighting strength of the various air services of the world. The formula produces the true value rating, helping to definitively separate each power based on not only overall strength, but modernization, logistical support, attack and defense capabilities, and so on. In this way, a power is not simply assessed on its total quantity of aircraft, but rather its quality and general mix of inventory. It is important to mention that the current WDMMA inventory consists of 98 countries. And yes, in this list, as you can see, the Indian Air Force is placed above the People's Liberation Army Air Force. The Indian Air Force's TVR score is 69.4, while on the other hand, the People's Liberation Army Air Force gets 63.8. Israeli Air Force's TVR score is 58, its rank is 9th. The French Air Force's TVR score is 56.3 and its rank is 10th. The British Royal Air Force's TVR score is 55.3 and it sits at 11th place. The Swedish Air Force gets 38.6 and is placed in 30th position. And yes, Pakistan's friend, Turkey, doesn't perform very well. The Turkish Air Force sits at the 21st place with a TVR score of just 44.6. The Ukrainian Air Force, which is currently battling the Russians, gets a TVR score of just 27.8 and their rank is 38. And yes, Pakistan, a country which somehow believes that it can defeat India in an air battle, performs quite poorly. In these rankings, the Pakistan Air Force is even behind the Royal Saudi Air Force, South Korea's Air Force and the Brazilian Air Force. The Pakistani Air Force rank is 18 and its TVR score is only 46.3. Do you think that the Pakistan Air Force will be able to beat their Saudi and South Korean counterparts in the future? Do you think that the Chinese Air Force can beat their Indian counterparts in the future? Let me know what you think in the comment section below, but before you do that, please continue watching to know how the Chinese are reacting to this report. Well, it has been reported that Chinese netizens question the capabilities of the Indian Air Force and WDMMA rankings. The Chinese are trying to downplay India's performance because, according to them, for a long time, India has depended on foreign imports to boost its military capability. But this is where the Chinese need to broaden their perspective. Not only does China itself also depend on foreign imports to boost their own military capability, but they have also relied on stealing foreign technology. At least when India acquires a foreign technology, it wants to do it fairly, in a legitimate way. For more on this, I highly recommend that you watch this episode. So thank you for your time, and I hope to see you again.